Between this movie and Don't Breathe, what is up with Detroit that makes it such a hotbed for horror movies to take place? I'm surprised they didn't include that in all those Pure Michigan commercials with Tim Allen in them. Hello, everyone. My name is Ryan Cam, here with my brief thoughts on Barbarian. This was directed by Zach Kreger, and it starred Georgina Campbell, Bill Skarsgård, and Justin Long. It tells the story of a woman named Tess, played by Campbell. She is staying at an Airbnb for a job interview. However, the Airbnb is double booked by a gentleman, played by Bill Skarsgård. The two have an awkward exchange, but then he's like, why don't you just take the bed? I'll take the couch. He seems a bit weird, but with like nowhere else to go, she's like, all right, I'll take it. Well, let's just say there's more to the house than even they realized. Since this movie has been protected like Fort Knox in terms of marketing wise, there's going to be a definitive spoiler free and a spoiler filled section in this review. I highly recommend you all check this movie out, so don't watch the spoiler section if you have not seen the movie. If you have seen the movie, stick around for it. But seriously, go into this movie as blind as possible. Don't watch a trailer. Even the poster is pushing it. Like, go into this knowing nothing. It's better that you do. Up till now, this will be spoiler free, so rest easy. As for horror this year, it's been a bit bumpy, at least for me. I think for a while, my favorite horror movie of the year was The Black Phone, and I guess that's more of a thriller than a horror. So I guess for pure horror, I'm going with X. With Pearl coming up, I'm thinking that might even top X. Who really knows? Well, now there is a new king in town, and its name is Barbarian, because this movie was crazy, it was freaky, and I mean that as the highest compliment possible. Georgina Campbell was really good here. She was just a powerhouse in this. Bill Skarsgård, and I don't know if this is much of a spoiler, but his involvement is not as big as you might imagine. He's not in the movie super duper much, but when he is there, he is good. And on a bit of a side note, I mean, two of my favorite movies of the year involve one of the Skarsgård brothers, Alex in The Northman and Bill in Barbarian. Stellan must be a proud man. Justin Long's whole thing is a bit of a spoiler, and I'll reserve that for the spoiler section. But this is the best that I've ever seen from him. If you just know him as the guy from Live Free or Die Hard, or the guy from all those Mac versus PC commercials, your mind will be changed on Justin Long because he rocked the house. And really, honestly, I don't think I can go into any plot details and talk about why I love this movie so much without going into spoilers. So this is where the spoiler section is going to begin. If you would like to go to my final thoughts, go to this time code. It will be linked in the description. But for right now, spoiler warning from here until the end. So the main plot that I said in my spoiler-free section, that's pretty much the first, I want to say, hour of the movie. Afterwards, it gets creepy real quick. Basically, Tess discovers there is a maze of underground tunnels, and the Bill Skarsgård character, I believe his name is Keith, he gets lost down there, and we don't see him for a while. Next time we see him, he's on all fours crawling, and Tess is like, we got to get out of here, we got to get out of here, and Keith is like, I'm not alone down here. And sure enough, what I'm going to describe, the creepiest looking woman you've ever seen, just a deformed, just gross looking human, just grabs him by the head and bashes his head on the side of these caverns. And I was just sitting there like, bro, what am I watching? it was a combination of just fear, terror, and just completely baffled. That was all for me. And then it goes to black, and then we meet Justin Long's character. Justin Long plays an actor who basically we learn is embroiled in a Me Too scenario. Basically, it is alleged and pretty much inferred that he ended up assaulting a female castmate of his, and he takes it about as well as you might expect. And he goes to Detroit because, well, he owns the Airbnb that Tess rented, and he does it through a third party that manages it, but he is the guy who technically owns the house. And so he goes there and he sees Keith and Tess's bags, and he's like, what is going on here? What? And then turns out, and then he goes down into the basement, not to check to see if they're okay, but to check for square feet, because, well, legal cases are expensive and he's going to need some money. So he goes online, and through like a loophole, he can ask for a better asking price for like more square feet. And there's like a solid like 5 minute stretch of just him measuring these caverns, going past this creepy looking room with a bed and a camera, which the bed looked like it hadn't been cleaned since the Reagan administration. Just go through these creepy looking like rooms and objects, and just Justin Long's like just tape measuring everything and using a tape measure to like how I would use a tape measure. When I first saw this character come on the screen and learn about the whole TSA and all that stuff, I was just sitting there like, I don't think I like this. But then the two plot lines eventually meet, and he gets captured by the woman, and Tess and AJ, the name of Justin Long's character, they're basically in it together. I had no idea where this movie was going, like from the point of when we meet Justin Long up to the end. It's rare that I am literally caught off guard like that, but this movie completely pulls it off. I don't want to be so bold as to say this movie is better than Psycho, but the only thing I can really compare it to in terms of starting with one thing, and then just knocking over the entire chessboard and setting up a completely different game is Psycho. If any of you know anything about Psycho, you'll know that Alfred Hitchcock basically said to movie theaters, don't let anyone in after the movie starts, because there's important information in the beginning, and if you let them in then people are going to get lost. What I think works so much about this movie is just how it makes you feel just off guard, about as off guard as the characters that you see. There's not and there wasn't an instance for me where I was like, just turn around, oh, there's the bad guy. There was precisely one jump scare that I could count, and that wasn't even like a throwaway scare of like a, oh hey, I found your phone. It's like accompanied by a loud noise. Like, no, it's building up the tension that Bill Skarsgård's character may not be who he says he is, and it's implied that it might be going somewhere rough there. And it was very effective. And at the end of the day, I'm going to give this an amazing grade. Unpredictability is absolutely this movie's friend. And honestly, this is a great directorial debut for Zach Cregger. I'm not sure if he's directed anything before this, but I hope he gets more work after this, because this movie was a stellar debut. All the acting was solid. The scares genuinely was just had me on the edge of my seat. This movie was just completely out of its mind, but that's what works about it. Don't read any spoilers. Don't watch any of the trailers. Go and see this movie completely blind. That's really going to be your friend here. But if you did see this movie, what did you think about it? Leave your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to read what you have to say about it. If you did like this video, please be sure to leave a like, comment your thoughts down below, and if you like this video and you want to see more like it, hit the subscribe button and click the bell to allow notifications. That way, when a new video drops, you'll be the first to know about it. My name is Ryan Cam, and I'll see you in the next one.